Remember the time.
Remember the time?
Remember the time.
Hey, remember the time?
Remember the time.
Remember the time?
Hey, remember the time?
Remember the time?
Hey, remember the
Hi,
time?
remember
that there time?
Do you recall the occasion?
Remember the time.
Hello, everybody. I am recording this on the audio recorder on my phone because, well, why the hell not? And joining me today for another exciting episode of Remember the Time is one of the people that actually helped record stuff on the intro, Mr. Micamanticore.
Hey everyone, how's it going? So today, what are we talking about?
I don't know, you were telling a story about how you went to Rocklahoma and how it got absolutely destroyed because of the rain.
Yes. So I went to Rocklahoma in 2015. I remember posts after the event calling it Mudlahoma instead because of how much it rained. And I ended up having to leave for a while because my wife invited me to a wedding. But let's talk more about the event itself. So at that time,
Flashback,
right? I was more in like a high top shoe phase, so I was wearing my high top Nikes at the time that I ended up getting rid of because they were so soaked in with mud that it was hopeless to try to get it out. But my wife at the time drove a little Mustang, so she couldn't risk bringing me back to the campground, at least not that day. So we ended up staying at her dorm.
Now, wasn't Rocklahoma all the way in Pryor, right?
Yes. Rocklahoma takes place in Pryor, or rather just outside of it. And if you're familiar with Oklahoma geography, we went to Oklahoma State University, which was in Stillwater. So that's probably a 2.5 hour drive.
How far is it from Tulsa, though?
I want to say about 45 minutes, maybe an hour.
That's not too bad.
No, it's not awful. Now I haven't made the drive in some time, so I'm not 100% confident on that, but I feel like that's about right. But no, I ended up throwing away a lot of the stuff that I brought with me, because it rained so much and so powerfully that there were my tent flooded, and I've never had that happen ever.
Was it a flimsy tent or was it like a big tent? What kind of tent was it?
It was, I think technically speaking, it's considered a 2-man tent.
Oh, okay.
But that just means it was big enough for me to sleep diagonally, and that was it.
Well, yeah, you kind of need something bigger because you had you and at the time the person you were dating, which is now your partner, basically.
She didn't go with me.
She didn't go with you.
No, I just went with some friends.
Okay.
She had no interest in going. But I wanted to go because Linkin Park was playing, and that was and still is one of my favorite bands.
Good choice.
They didn't get to play because of the rain. I think it started really with a torrential downpour during their set.
Yeah, because they were rehearsing, right?
Yeah, they were rehearsing as I was leaving because my wife came to pick me up to take me to the wedding. And it broke my heart to hear them and know that I wasn't going to get to see them live. But at least I heard a little bit of it, you know?
Yeah.
I believe they were rehearsing Bleed It Out off of Menace to Midnight. I love that
That's
album.
a good song.
But no, my everything was in that tent. My backpack, my clothes. At the time, I was writing down all of my transactions on a piece of paper that got ruined because it rained on it. My belt got ruined. It got soaked and split. I'm pretty sure there was mold in that tent when I was putting it away. But I tried my best, okay?
How did you get mold in the tent?
I tried. Because... All right, so I think just the heat of the campground and everything, and like putting it away with some moisture still in it. Because I literally, have you ever dumped out a tent?
Once.
It's laborious.
It is. That's a fun word,
right?
Laborious.
But no, it was one of those tents that had the like screen on the top, so you could leave off the rain cover and see like the stars and stuff. But I knew it had a decent chance of rain, so I just put the cover on.
There you go.
Thanks. I just put the cover on, and yeah, it didn't help.
It didn't help
It
at all.
didn't help. Still rained inside my tent.
So what all got damaged?
My shoes and my backpack, I think I ended up getting rid of entirely because the shoes were so muddy. Okay. So I'm gonna go back to my farmer roots a little bit. Have you ever seen a pig pen?
No.
Okay. So to set the scene a little bit, there is no hard ground anywhere. It is all mud.
It's all just straight mud through and through.
It's not even oh, I left a footprint kind of mud.
Yeah.
More liquid than dirt mud.
Okay, that makes sense. It's not even a full solid at that point.
No,
it's just uneven.
Yeah. So I was wearing high tops, about a little bit above my ankle. I'm pretty sure I had mud up here from how, because this is an audio format. I've got my hand.
No, we
at the
can
middle
describe
of my
it.
shin.
Yeah.
But I had mud up to just about my shin, and just absolutely galumphing through the mud to get to whatever stage we needed to get to, because I know you've never been there. At least 3 stages. I'm pretty sure there's 4, but there's 3 main.
I've heard the stories of how big the whole setup is, but it is
massive.
very crowded and overwhelming very quickly.
Yes.
It's basically an outdoor festival.
Oh, it's 100% just a festival.
Yeah. Comfy.
Yeah. No, we're good. Yeah, that was a lot of fun, but also a nightmare. I gained one of my new favorite bands from that as well, Motionless in White.
Ooh, interesting choice.
They just put out a new album that's pretty fucking good. But
I need to listen to it.
But no, that was
we can listen to it later
fun.
today. Yeah.
The whole thing was a lot of fun. I'd love to go back.
I would just love to go.
Right. No, it was a ton of fun, but that's something I'd probably go on my own for, because Heather's not into that kind of music.
How much are tickets normally? Or how much were tickets when you went?
So when I went, I want to say it was. It's been 8 years. I've slept a few times since then. I want to say it was about 100 for basically a campground portion as well as a weekend ticket.
That's not too bad.
No,
actually.
it wasn't bad. The prices have gone up since then. I'm almost 100% certain.
It's probably 150, close to 140.
And we got the cheap ones.
Okay.
Because there are other better campgrounds. Basically there's the campground that we stayed at, which is basically just dirt. And then there's the VIP type ones, which were you could come in with a travel trailer or an RV and hook it up and have running water and power and all that other stuff, which are significantly more. I want to say those were more in the family of 350 for the weekend. You can get day passes if you're just I want to go for just this one band, on Saturday and whatever. But no, I had a lot of fun. It's definitely something to revisit. But
I think at most, unless I blocked out the time for it for the whole weekend, I'm one of those people where I'd probably go for a 1-day thing, go there, check out the bands that I'm actually curious about the most, get maybe some food that's obviously going to destroy my stomach, drink a little, and then just straight up make the trip back. Or at the very least, if you did go camping, the problem would be then you need to buy a tent, you need to buy supplies, you need to buy snacks, you need to make sure there's no prohibited items at the campground, stuff like that. But even then, you'd be spending upwards of about guaranteed $200 even before the ticket price.
Yeah, I was lucky enough to have a tent already. My parents smoked for a while, and
they just let you use the tent.
Yeah, there was a tent that they earned from the Miles program or whatever.
Oh, cool.
No,
the Miles.
No, that's wrong. That's how I had my sleeping bag. My tent was a gift from my grandmother.
Aw, how nice.
Yeah, so I was lucky enough to have all that at least. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun to go to.
Well, that's a fun trip down memory lane. So thanks for sharing the untold story to the masses.
Of course.
Did you have fun remembering da time?
I had a lot of fun remembering the time.
Da time. Until next time.